Exercise for weight loss. I will be approaching this subject with the following goals. Number 1, increasing and maintaining overall physical and mental health. Number 2, increasing metabolic function to aid consistent caloric burn that will eliminate unnecessary body fat and prevent further accumulation of adipose tissue. And before we get started, please note that Chapter 5 will be dedicated purely to people dealing with metabolic damage, hypothyroid, adrenal fatigue, or any other endocrine or hormonal disturbance. So if you're in that category, you will apply everything in this video plus everything in the next video. If you're currently stuck at the same weight despite regular exercise and great diet, that video is for you. So let's get started. There are 3 major types of exercise that we are going to discuss in this video. There are those that predominantly stress the cardiovascular system. We will call that cardio. Those that are done predominantly for muscle strengthening. Those will be called weight training. And those that predominantly focus on muscle and connective tissue flexibility. We will call it flexibility. And yes, many exercises fall into more than one category, but just for the sake of discussion today, we are going to be talking about them categorically. And we will talk about them from least important to weight loss to most important to weight loss. Not to imply that any of these categories of exercise are unnecessary, because they are all very necessary to health, but when it comes to weight loss, all exercise is not created equal. We start with flexibility. I am a massage therapist and yoga teacher, and I am here to teach by scaring the shit out of you. In my therapeutic massage practice, I see 2 types of clients. Those that do yoga and those that don't do yoga. And from a chronic pain, posture, and joint health standpoint, the clients that I see that don't do yoga are completely fucked. I am excellent at my job and I can make huge differences for people that are in pain. But my clients that don't do yoga or any other type of prolonged stretching practice experience stagnated progress and continued pain. And if they don't get their shit together and start doing a regular practice to take care of their bodies, they will likely stay like that for the rest of their lives. Their muscles and connective tissue are like bricks that are stuck together in big bundles of gristle and connective tissue and scar. It's a miserable existence, and it appears to be essentially guaranteed to anyone who doesn't want to put effort into maintaining their flexibility. Yoga or another form of stretching needs to be done regularly, and it needs to be done wisely, which we will be discussing further in an upcoming video. Stretching is necessary because our muscles and connective tissues and joints need to be taken through their full range of movement on a regular basis. It aids fluid and nutrient movement through areas that are generally speaking quite ischemic or have low blood flow. And if you don't move your body through every possible plane of movement at least a few times a week, your connective tissue or fascia, which coats every single muscle fiber, every single muscle, every single compartment of your body, will stick to itself, and those bonds will get stronger every single day you don't stretch. Breaking up these connective tissue bonds is extremely painful and very difficult, if not impossible. Which is why, with flexibility, especially in the case of connective tissue, you use it or lose it. To my younger viewers out there, start the habit now and it will literally set you up for the rest of your life. Stretching also helps in venous and lymphatic return, which is excellent for water retention and general lymphatic health. However, though very, very important, stretching does come in at the bottom of the weight loss for exercise spectrum because it doesn't burn a lot of calories. Next up, cardio. For weight loss, the cardio train has definitely gotten the most attention. And rightly so, because cardiovascular activities create a large caloric deficit. And if that caloric deficit isn't met by dietary calories, it will theoretically result in the burning of adipose or fat tissue. Cardio is, without a doubt, an absolutely integral and irreplaceable part of any balanced exercise routine. Notice what I just said. Cardio is part of a balanced exercise routine. As in, you can't just do cardio and expect to permanently and easily lose weight. No more than you could just rely on eating rice to fulfill all of your nutritional needs. But cardio is so beneficial to health that it does need to be included. I recommend you find several types of cardio that you enjoy and you rotate those on a daily, weekly, monthly, or seasonal basis. Depending on your current fitness levels, the climate you live in, your personal preferences, and your joint health, you can choose from any of the following activities: fast walking, long distance jogging, trail running, interval training or sprints, elliptical training, road or mountain biking, swimming, roller skating, rebounding, indoor aerobics, high intensity interval training, or some other type of cardio that you know that you love. My favorites are jogging and cycling. I like to alternate those to prevent joint pain, inflammation, or any other types of repetitive stress injuries. I also like to alternate the routes I take and the effort that I put into them. Some days I like to run or bike up hills for interval training. Other days I like to go for nice, long, steady runs over flat terrain and keep it more mellow. Mixing it up helps prevent developing injuries or getting literally so bored that I would rather die. Enter the elliptihell machine. It is your responsibility to experiment and try new things to find out what kind of cardio you love. My personal preference for cardio, and this is part of the adrenal fatigue background that we'll talk about more tomorrow, is to have no goals and no requirements for the cardio that I do. I like no pressure cardio. I know some people like to enter races and triathlons or other competitions, but that stresses me out and it leaves me feeling like a small, inadequate girl that just lost the race on field day to the popular girl. Yes, that happened. Yes, I talked to my therapist about it. No, I still don't want to run the turkey trot. Cardio is important. Find cardio that you love and do it. And now for the coup de grace to fat loss. Weight training. As I mentioned last week, muscle is an extremely calorically costly tissue. It burns about 14 calories per day just sitting there doing nothing, which is pretty good compared to fat's measly 3 calories a day. And muscle burns a lot more calories when it's moving. So the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you're ripping through, the more body fat you're able to burn, and the more effective your body is at thermogenesis, or burning off excess calories as unnecessary body heat. Any muscle that you gain or maintain will continue burning calories for the rest of your glorious life, which, I don't know about you, sounds like a much better prospect than lifelong dieting and caloric restriction. And if you do weight training and cardio, your muscles will be packed full of contractile units, which is what makes them big. And they will be stuffed to the gills with calorie-burning mitochondria. You will be what is generally referred to as a fat-burning machine. Build muscles to get lean. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at your ass and thighs right now. Women especially, we have been trained to hate our fat asses and big thighs. But I want you to start thinking about them differently from this point on. This is not your useless fat ass. These are not your fat, jiggly thighs. They are your calorie-burning powerhouse. They are opportunities to pack 10 to 20 pounds of fat burning muscle onto your beautiful feminine physique. And those extra pounds of muscles will eat up your body fat so efficiently it is actually not even funny. Cardio is important for health and weight loss, but the problem comes when, and it's usually women, when we restrict calories and abuse cardio to the detriment of weight training. And before we know it, we are the starved, skinny fat woman with the concave ass who's been on the elliptihell machine for the last hour and who's gonna go home and eat low-fat cottage cheese for dinner. Don't be that woman. Build up your ass into a beautifully round, fat-burning powerhouse. And do the same for your back and shoulders. Trust me, ladies, it won't make you look bulky and gross. It'll make you look toned, defined, and strong, like that goddess you were born to be. Trade in your muffin top for lower back ass. Yes, I did make that up. Trade in your back fat for lats and strong-ass erectors. Trade in your tricep fat for biceps and deltoids that people will literally stare at while you're standing in the line at the grocery store holding 6 5-pound bags of potatoes. And I would like to mention, because it's only fair, that if you look at me and you think, I don't want to have relatively narrow hips and broad shoulders like you do, please note that I have always, from the day I hit puberty, been unflatteringly top-heavy. And as my least favorite ex-boss said, I am almost like totally the opposite of normal women. Fuck you, Marion! I have no idea why, but this is what the women in my family look like. Could have something to do with the nuclear reactor that was just upstream from my mom's hometown. But instead of complaining, I'm just doing my best to work with what I've got. If you look like a normal woman, then please know you have the potential to look so much better than I do. And it is my absolute dream that you seize that opportunity and turn yourself into a fit, strong, powerhouse goddess of a normal-looking woman. Check out the channel Naturally Stephanie if you would like an example of a heavy weightlifting, goddess status, vegan, normal-looking woman's body. Also, weight-bearing exercises and muscle strengthening is absolutely essential for gaining bone density and preventing bone loss as we age. Muscle loss and bone loss as we get older happens to everyone. Sarcopenia. Osteoporosis is caused by many things, including very certainly and predominantly the consumption of dairy products. The shameful lack of weight training that most women are guilty of is certainly part of the problem too. I don't know what your body goals are for yourself, but I am extremely comfortable projecting the goal that I have for you. I want you to be a healthfully dense, strong, formidable, opinionated, god or goddess-like version of yourself, who is, with absolute grace of authority, taking charge of their own destiny, happiness, and bone health as they age. That starts first and foremost by challenging your muscles with heavy weights and getting your entire body strong. Most of my life, I just did body weight resistance exercises and yoga. And those are good. Don't get me wrong about that, they are excellent exercises. But I never really challenged myself. And part of why I never really challenged myself is that when I would challenge myself, I felt weak and silly and embarrassed that I could barely even do a body weight squat without collapsing. It is hard to walk into a gym where everyone is already fit and lifting heavy. There's a learning curve, and there's definitely a weakness curve. But if you allow your progress to be determined by feelings of awkwardness, you are going to have a very small and scary life, and you're never going to know the satisfaction of having an ass that can kick down a door if need be. I walked into a gym for the first time in my adult life last year. I was pudgier than I am now, my muscles were quite a bit smaller, and I was having a particularly awkward breakout. But I didn't let that stop me, because across the gym I spotted a strong, sexy woman with the nicest ass I have ever seen. So I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, you have the nicest ass I've ever seen. You obviously know what you're doing better than I do. And if you would be willing, and I'm happy to pay for you, would you mind if I followed you around on the next leg and butt day to see what you do?" And she showed me everything I had to do to get an amazing, strong, formidable ass. That said, I also do somewhat despise the gym. So what I do now is I join the gym for like 2 or 3 months a year, focus on lifting heavy weights during that time, get my strength up, build some muscle, and then I work out at home for the rest of the time and do my best to maintain that muscle mass. And doing the cardio that I do, honestly, kind of prefer. Within the next few days, I will be giving you guys some general guidelines for safety as you begin to do weightlifting. So to briefly recap, first and foremost, weight training is extremely important to increase your muscle mass and thus your basal metabolic rate, maintaining healthy bones as you age, and turning yourself into a powerful, deity-like version of the human being I am visualizing right now. Cardio is an absolutely essential part of a balanced exercise routine for weight loss. It keeps your vascular system functioning really well, packs your muscles full of calorie-burning mitochondria, purges your lymphatic system with movement and sweat, provides a generous sense of euphoria, and if your muscles are nice and developed, it will engulf calories like you won't even believe. Make your cardio effective. Lift weights. And flexibility is extremely important for health, unless you want to do a really painful impression of a crooked tree as you get older. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. We definitely have a lot more to cover. I know I keep saying it, I'm actually just kind of overwhelmed, yet still unreasonably thrilled. So until next time, take really good care of yourselves. Start making plans to beef up, find some cardio you love, and make the time to attend to your flexibility. Thank you, take care, make better choices for yourself. Ain't nobody gonna lift that shit for you.